Yes, it is me, myself, and I, the Robozoid, your semi-likable and occasionally tolerable curmudgeon of the Rumble airwaves and known on YouTube, of course, as at Robbie1976. Now, I gotta talk about this right now because we'd already covered the story of the cops being pelted. I mean, just honest to God, hit with snow-covered rocks and even big chunks of ice. Well, I wanted to talk more about how the NYPD are actually now starting to revolt against Zero Mumsdummy, and for good reason, because Mumsdummy is a complete idiot who is not qualified for this job, and there couldn't be anybody stupider than that cheese-brained meathead. You know, I promised I'm not going to get riled up, I swear. I already checked my blood pressure after the last video, and it was about 144/90, so, you know, that was pretty high. I mean, pretty safe, but I don't know if that was a safe level. But, you know, I'm going to do my best not to get my blood pressure up because this really did bring my blood and my piss to a boil to have to hear about this story. Only because these idiots, these thugs, and they are thugs, were throwing all these rock-filled snowballs, these rocks disguised as snowballs, and huge chunks of ice at the NYPD, who were just doing their job. And of course, well, you can't explain that to a bunch of ape-like thugs. And that's what these people were. They were apes and they were thugs. And the worst part of it is, Zero Mumsdummy wouldn't arrest any of them. None of them. He just dismissed it as a harmless little snowball fight that, well, got out of hand. And I'm going to play that for you in this news report right now, so take a look.
The NYPD has made an arrest in the snowball fight in Greenwich Village. The mayor says it left 2 officers with minor injuries. Mayor Mamdani has said he did not believe anyone should be arrested for the incident and described it as a fun snowball fight that got out of control. But the police commissioner and other elected officials say the people who struck the officers with snowballs should face criminal charges. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett live in the West Village with the very latest. NJ.
It's because the snowballs were filled with rocks, and some of them were huge chunks of ice.
At least 3 others, as you said, are still being sought. The young man was walked out of the 6th Precinct Detective Squad here about 20 minutes ago, identified by NYPD detectives as 27-year-old Guzman Coulibaly, charged with assault on a police officer, disorderly conduct, and obstructing governmental administration.
Stupid name that is.
Dave, these charges are coming over the objections of the mayor, who sought to downplay the incident since it was first reported.
I've said again and again of what I think it was.
Mayor Mamdani has been consistent from the beginning, minimizing the melee in Washington Square Park that left
Kermit
2
the
police officers
Ugandan
injured and several others covered in snow and ice. No one was arrested, and the mayor clearly believed no one should be.
I've said that what I saw was a snowball fight. It should be treated accordingly. It was one that got out of hand, but that's what it was.
Here's what he said 2 days ago.
Yeah,
I can just tell you from
idiot.
the video I saw, it looked like kids at a snowball fight. Look, I've seen the videos of this snowball fight. I think that it was a snowball fight.
Liar! Liar!
So far, only one arrest has been made, and this was the filth bag who actually did it. Yep, he's been arrested. He's got some goofy name that I can't even repeat, and I won't even try. All I'm going to say is, I hope this guy is punished to the full extent of the law because he deserves it for being a complete and utter asshole. So clearly you saw the picture of the thug that threw the snowballs at the rock-filled snowballs at the police, which could have seriously injured or maybe even murked them. I won't say unalived. I know you can't say killed on YouTube, but obviously they could have been murked. They could have been just totally disemboweled or whatever by a rock-filled snowball, or a big chunk of ice, which of course you've already seen. So obviously this little thug was arrested. This 27-year-old piece of human trash was arrested for what he did. And you know what? You've got the very woke mayor, Moron Mumsdummy, who won't do anything about it. He doesn't care. He just dismisses it as a simple, harmless little prank. You know, just a little snowball fight that got out of control. Yeah, right. And of course, the DA wouldn't press charges because he's also woke likewise. So let's listen in on this little news report while we try and make some sense out of all this crap. So let's go ahead.
We have an update now on a much-discussed story here in the city. The NYPD says it has arrested a man after the snowball fight in Washington Square Park, where several police officers were pelted. 27-year-old Gusmani Coulibaly was arrested this morning.
Gusmani.
Police say he was arrested in the past for an attempted robbery.
A few moments later.
But first, new information on the man arrested for this snowball fight that police say injured officers. He just faced a judge moments ago. Good evening, I'm Dick Brennan. This just in, the charges against the 27-year-old
Dick Brennan. Any relationship at all to Margaret Brennan?
Gusman Coulibaly, who was accused of throwing snowballs at officers in Washington Square Park Monday. 2 officers were hurt and taken to the hospital.
There's a
Coulibaly
picture of
was
him doing it.
charged with assaulting a police officer, which is a felony. But the DA reduced the charges to a misdemeanor for obstruction of governmental administration.
Yeah, because the DA, of course, was Fat Alvin Bragg.
The police union was there at the hearing and was frustrated with the outcome.
Notion that this was a playful snowball fight obviously is not true. The video is clear as day actually, that this individual threw a snowball packed with ice, blasted our police officer in the face.
The DA's office said after a review of evidence, there's no proof the officer's injuries were directly caused by Coulibaly. Police are still looking for 3 other people in connection with the snowball fight.
Did you put rocks in the snow?
We can answer some questions.
Awesome, thank you so much. Get it out.
I will answer some questions.
Okay, no problem. Some very serious claims being made right now, including them saying that he put rocks in the snow before throwing them at officers.
This is the first I'm hearing of rocks in the snow. I don't know where you got that.
He's such a liar.
There's nothing in the criminal complaint that says that.
You've mentioned in court that you felt this was
Phony, bald-headed bastard.
I think it's obvious to most New Yorkers. I think the police have an issue with the mayor of our city. I think they're taking it out on Mr. Coulibaly. They want to pick a fight with the mayor. I don't think this is the way they should be doing it. From what I've seen, there are not many things that the mayor and I agree on. I'm not the biggest fan.
You're a
However,
juggling
I
clown.
did see the videos, and my client, according to them, I haven't seen a specific indication that my client was throwing a snowball. But going based upon what they said, that they had an indication that he actually threw a snowball, that's all in place. There's no information that there were rocks.
Because he knows how to juggle the books.
Ice, snowballs. The police went so far as to charge him with a C violent felony. Okay?
Does that raise a due process issue in your view, that other people are getting similar charges?
Well, I don't think that's a due process issue. I think it's selective prosecution. I don't know how they decided.
Don't know how he got a law degree.
We're not there yet. All I can go by is what I heard in the courtroom and what I have in this criminal complaint. And thankfully,
Oh, enough of this bozo already. Enough of this clown, this schmuck.
Was able to see through the politicization of this and reduced it to obstructing governmental administration.
You said you saw the videos, and they're claiming that in the videos it shows that they have ice.
I have not
rocks
seen
in
it.
the
I've seen the video that most people see on TV. The DA's office has not provided video to me yet.
You mentioned in court that you don't see how your client could have obstructed government administration because you didn't know what the administration was.
How long is this crap?
Was your client harassing others?
Well, I don't know if it's harassment. What I did say in court is, at worst, this could be a summonsable offense, which is harassment, disorderly conduct. That is a possibility. But again, I have not seen the proof. That's going to come with the discovery phase of the case. So I don't know what specific proof they have that my client did anything.
Yeah, right. He didn't do anything. Yeah, he's so innocent. He's just the sweet little boy next door. Yeah, there's obviously photographed evidence of him with a very large snowball concealing hard ice right there in his hands. And the baldy skid mark is saying that he didn't do anything. Sure. Yeah, this is exactly why the NYPD is revolting against these people, these vermin. This is exactly why the NYPD is revolting against Zero Mumsdummy, because he's pretty revolting himself. I had already mentioned, of course, that, well, his representation in court, aside from that bald white dude, of course, is, well, Fat Alvin Bragg, the very same guy that wanted to prosecute President Trump for the J6 thing and basically put him away for 15 or 17 years to jail, or probably for life. Because, yeah, these people were so eager to press charges against President Trump. And now you have the same fatso who basically says, oh, you know what? This boy did nothing wrong. He's just an innocent young boy, who's having a snowball fight with friends. Sure. Yeah, right. He's a 27-year-old maniac, okay? A 27-year-old thug who knew goddamn well what he was doing, and that was throwing rock-concealed snowballs and heavy ice at the NYPD. So that's exactly why you have the NYPD revolting against Zero Mumsdummy, because Zero Mumsdummy is pretty revolting himself. And, arguing otherwise is a waste of time. It just is. It's a complete waste, and these people should know better. They're old enough to know better, but for some goddamn reason, they don't know any better. And I'm not going to get into the reason why, because, that would open up a whole new can of worms for all the crybabies and pansies to complain about. You'll have to excuse me, I've got a touch of allergies here. In any case, well, you guys know the rest, I guess. Well, he's going to be released into the wind because of the representation that he has. I mean, meaning Fat Alvin Bragg, of course. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, nothing's going to happen to him. He'll just get a slap on the wrist, and then he'll be set free, probably on a court order. That's all I can say, really. So, this has been the Robozoid saying, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. You guys know what to do if you did enjoy it. And even if you didn't enjoy it, why don't you tell an enemy about it? Tell your frenemies, for all I really care. And, of course, remember that, well, wokeness is weakness, something that the powers that be in New York City don't seem to understand, as it has now become New Yorkistan under this modern day Idi Amin. So remember that always. And, of course, remember that, hey, these people are the biggest liars on earth. That's how they got as far as they did. And, of course, well, what else is there to say? This has been the Robozoid saying, you know what, I can't take this story anymore. I hope I don't have to talk about it anymore, but I'm pretty sure that I will in the very near future. Be here or be absolutely nowhere.